Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday morning trading room. Thank you for coming back. Had a little technical difficulty with our screen sharing software, the GoToWebinar software, the other day. And if you bear with me here just a moment, I'm just finishing getting my charts set up. And then we'll be good to go. One more night here, house sitting, pet sitting for our friends. Then I finally get back to my office and my own computer. So I'll stop complaining all the time. All right, so the market's just opening up, and it looks like they've got a little bit of a downward bent to them this morning. If we take a look here at the Eagle. Pre-market, very often there's a report that comes out about an hour before the North American Open, and it looks like it put a little bit of a bearish slant on the morning. It looks like the sellers trying to recover that trend here. A nice little green bar sell to start the morning. That's on the Eagle, and it looks like we're about halfway to our high probability profit target on that one. But we'll give them a few moments here to settle in. Very often, if there is something resembling an overnight trend, it's not unusual to see the market try to reverse on that, at least right out of the open. So far, however, looks like the sellers still in control. All right, we're starting to flatten out just a little bit. Getting a little bit more consolidation here. You can see on the hawk. Now we're actually drifting into what could turn out to be a green bar sell. Those types of signals tend to develop near the end of a trend. Usually the first green bar sell is worth trying with trend. And after that, you can set up for the failure. You can set up for the possible reverse. We've already got a trend change signal here on the Falcon. And once again, I'm going to concentrate mostly here on the Raptor this morning. Nice little hard edge bounce. That should have printed as a number 3 signal. If not, you can see that visually it's still close enough to the hard edge to qualify. All right, and here we go. We're getting a little bit flat again. So I'm starting to think that maybe we're making a little bit here of a bottom. You know, it was up here. We saw the market get a little bit sideways. Now it headed lower, a little bit of a pullback, trying to head lower, a little bit of a pullback again. And here we are, challenging these highs, that last little swing high. So if the market comes down from here now, this again will be another hard edge bounce. But if we get the higher swing low, we're going to see the test of the extreme, right? In this case, the extreme is the low. We'll get the test of the extreme. We'll come back with a buy signal. That might be worth trying. A little short-term buy, see if there's any bullishness going on here this morning. But first, you know, we need that test of the extreme. All right, so there we go. We've got something resembling the test of the extreme now. The extreme, like I said, in this case, the low. Now, we've got the market actually pinched. This is a number 3 signal. And we have a second push opportunity. So if you wanted, you could bracket this trade. You could turn on your OCO. You could look to short below. You could look to buy above. This now the number 2 signal. I don't know if it's going to print as a number 2 on your Raptor, but that's what it is. It is a number 2 signal, and it is a buying opportunity. And once again, we can pinch the market a little bit. We're kind of getting in a little bit of a tight little range here now. All right, looks like they're going to stay to the short side for now, and I'm going to roll my stops up a little bit. Oh, that was actually a bad fill. I think I got slipped on that fill. I'm going to delete my break even here for the moment. We're struggling a little bit with the current lows. If we manage to break those lows, kind of that little double bottom we have going on here, there should be some follow through from that move. Oh, we got a lot of sideways trading going on here. We are really found a sensitive price area for this market. Looks like 68.90 more or less skewering the market here at the moment. And that looks like it's a little bit of a bounce off of the secondary resistance line right here. Okay, this now going to be the last chance here for the sellers to put this market make this market head lower. And I'm going to start to roll my stops a little bit. There we go. Got a little bit of follow through. There we go. Okay. So I will enable my stops again. And if you wanted to give this a little bit more breathing room, you could dial it back a little bit. Sometimes I like using 3.0. just holds you in a little bit longer. Of course, you can always get more aggressive if the market continues in your direction. It does look like we have hit our high probability profit target, however. So not a bad place to take profit. Okay, price is inching lower now. We managed to ride out that first swing. Oh, they're swinging already. I don't think we're going to be quite as lucky on the second one. I could be a little bit more aggressive with my stops at this point, but I'll leave it alone for now. Try to give them every opportunity to keep moving this market lower. Oh, they're swinging again. Oh, I think I'm going to get tagged this time. Yeah, the swings are becoming too frequent and too short. It's not to say the market isn't going to continue lower, but given my stop strategy, that was probably the best that I could do. Thank you, Scott. Scott says, not so bad. Nice trade. It did work out pretty good. And it did have the potential to continue lower, so I don't feel bad about trying to run it out a little bit. The trend definitely looking like it is a little bit more bearish this morning. Oh, we're going to hear some heavy equipment starting up here in a moment, as it seems like they're going to start working on the townhouse project just down the road here from our friend's house. Yeah. Well, Scott says I did better than his break-even +2 profit. You probably did okay on that one too, Scott. You're just being modest. All right, here's a little bit of a pullback now, so the buyer's showing a little bit more gumption. Here's a word we don't use much anymore. Yeah, Scott says I bagged my 2 points long before the drop. Nice. This little bit of a pullback you can see is almost a retest of this last zone here. There we go. So we have this breakdown below this support level. Here now is the retest. So it's looking like it's trying to get more bullish, but maybe not necessarily so, right? Whenever there's a breakout from a trading range, you should look for the breakout and the possible retest. Yeah, David. David's asking, hi, Eric. Well, hey, David. He says, are you using Ninja 7 or 8? Your trade manager seems to be an old version. Yes, for those of you who are tuning in late, um, I don't know why we agreed to this, but we are house sitting for friends while they are visiting their son in Europe. So I'm trading off my laptop, and to my shame, I have not updated my laptop software in over a year. So yes, this is the old Trade Manager version. This is the old, the old Raptor that you're seeing. As far as NinjaTrader versions, I am still running Ninja 7. In spite of what NinjaTrader says, Ninja 8 is not without bugs. And of course, the big problem with Ninja 8, and because it's not bug-free, and Ninja keeps changing their programming, it's made it impossible for our programmers to update Trade Manager to where it's stable on Ninja 8. So Trade Manager is too important a tool for me to upgrade to Ninja 8 just yet and be without it. So yeah, after my little rant there, I'm still running Ninja 7. I know some of the members in the room who have more than one computer are running Ninja 8 on one computer for their charting and then running Ninja 7 on another computer with their trade manager for trade execution. That'll work. All right, so here we've got a nice little bounce off of that breakout. I was actually going to mention shorting this one right here. You would have taken a little bit of a heat, but it would have come down, at least gives you the opportunity to get back into a break even. The problem now, however, looks like we're getting a very drawn out retest of the low. Okay, here comes yet another hard edge bounce. So some definite bearishness in here. This is one of these situations where people ask, should I enter on the hash mark? What about if I enter just below here? Well, very often when they're this close together, you can see that one's going to fill regardless, whether you enter here or enter here. Normally, however, I would enter below the hash mark, and my trade would end up looking something like that. I like the second, what I could call a second push opportunity. So the market comes down, it shows me its current limit comes back, and I need some renewed momentum to bring me in there. That was a quick little move to the downside. I'm wondering if the market's a little thin again here this morning. Okay, here now. This is a very nice retest of the low. We've retested the lows back here. Look at that. They're going to come back with yet another number 3 signal. This should have printed as a number 3. If we come back with a buy signal, I'm going to give it a try. There it is right there. And I'm going to get ready on the buy button. There we go. And the reason I'm doing that is it looks to me like the market keeps testing the lows, and this quick little move that we saw occur right here, that kind of showed me that it looked like the buyers were, or pardon me, the sellers were aggressive, but then there was no follow through. So that's got me thinking maybe, just maybe, we're going to see a bullish swing here. So I'm going to get my stops in play. No, that's not where I want them. All right, I'll enable that, get my stop. I want to hold my stop below this last swing right here. Because if the market is changing direction, it's going to need a little bit of room here to negotiate the turn. And if the buyers don't show up soon, the sellers are going to end up taking the market back. Yeah, look at that. Scoundrels. I'm always leery about those fast moves, how those bars unfolded so quickly there. I almost think the buyers are playing possum. You know, they're getting all the sellers excited. Everybody's reaching for their sell market button. Oh, the market's going to run away. The market's going to run away. And everybody hops in with a sell order. Okay, get my mouse out of the way there. It would be nice to see a retest of the high back here. First things first, though. First, we got to get above these highs. Once we've broken one swing level, then we can anticipate that the market's going to give us another swing. Come on. Prices spent a lot of time here earlier this morning at around 68.90. I'm thinking that would be a nice target. No, our trading clouds are trying to get a little bit more bullish here. Unfortunately, still a lot of bearish pressure. Of course, counter trend trades by their nature are going to be a lot riskier than the with trend trade. Yeah, I didn't think they were going to let me out of that one. So now we got this sideways trading range going on. Take a look here at the eagle. You can see it's starting to flatten out a little bit. Still got that bearish slant to it. And even though I was wrong about my trade, in the longer term, it may have just been some bad timing. because in spite of that, a little bit of a move down there, they do seem reluctant, don't they? Okay, this next signal that's going to print here, now that your clouds are back in sync, you've got this little bit of a pullback. That's actually going to be a number one signal. So if you're looking for an opportunity to get back with trend, there it is right there. Oops, they just slipped past me. All right, well, I can do it with a sell order as well. So the number one order, the number one signal is your cloud crossover signal. It shows you when a trend is trying to establish itself or reestablish itself. It's another one of these signals that you want to take in context. And by that, I mean you need to take into account everything here on the left side of your chart as well. Okay, I'm going to get a stop in play, and I'm going to hold that stop just a little bit here. Here we go. Like I said, I'm not convinced that I necessarily had the wrong idea there. Rather, it was a little bit of bad timing. I took a little bit of slippage here on this fill as well. So the market looking, like I said, a little bit thin to me. Okay, we'll take it to break even. They're just hesitating a little bit too much for me right now. Had I gotten my entry where I wanted it, I'd be okay. Okay, so we're on hold now for a little bit until they settle in. We've got these lows back here once again that the market may choose to retest. It looks like that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to head up there, and then we'll see whether or not the sellers still have the market under control. Well, looks like we got a little bit of a bounce there, a little early bounce off of that old support zone. It was also very close to where the number one signal developed. Okay, we're going to get a number two signal printing now. Kind of showing some bullishness. We've had this quick little retest of the low, the buy signal now. And here, once again, we seem to have the market a little bit pinched. So now we've got a number 3 signal and a second push opportunity on that. So there's bullish and bearish pressure here. You could bracket this trade. You could, well, here, why don't I show you? So we've got the OCO turned on. We could look to sell below here. We could look to buy above here. Now, as far as the buy order goes, you may be more comfortable putting it up here on the other side of that resistance zone. Or you could start above there and see if we get a little bit of a pushback now off of that buy signal. All right, so there they go. Looks like they're going to challenge that resistance area. Okay, just need to get a stop in play, and once again, I'm going to hold the stop down here below the low. And we'll see whether the buyers are a little more serious this time about rallying the market. It's a tricky spot to buy from because we are retesting this old resistance area back here. Still a lot of bearishness in the market. Let's get that line out of the way. Okay. Get ready with my super trend. It's actually been a fair amount going on here this morning. We're only opening range has just expired, but it's been a fairly active morning to start. Okay, this now the problem signal, this guy right here, because essentially that is a hard edge bounce. And it's off of this old resistance, or pardon me, the old support zone. And it may even turn out to make this form into a bit of a bear flag. So we really need to see the buyers come back at this point now. Just to confirm that, in fact, they do have the market under control, at least for the short term. Okay, we're making a little bit of progress. There we go. All right, I'll enable my stops at this point and take the trade to break even and keep my fingers crossed. Now that the clouds are fully crossed over, this will produce a number 1 signal on your Raptor, which will again be the cloud crossover now going the other direction. Well, maybe not ready just yet. We'll see. If we come back here with a buy signal, like I said, that will be the number 1 signal, the cloud crossover signal. And I will attempt to buy that one. There it is. And come on back. I'm afraid to blink. There it is. All right. Okay. I will hold my stop a little bit. I'm out on the deck because I don't want to be too noisy inside. And I'm getting quite a bit of glare here, the morning sun off of my off of the window and off of my laptop, so I'm having a heck of a time finding my mouse. All right, this next push should see the buyers rally the market. If they fail at this point, well, then I need to take steps to adjust my trade. But hopefully, we'll get above this bar right here. Looks like it's sitting around 68, 77 3/4, 78. You can see we're flinching there one more time. Come on, get up there. Give it a little bit of a push with your mouse. There we go. Come on now. All right, well, I'll take it to break even again, and hopefully it won't be too early. Hopefully the market will continue to rally from here, and not tag me at break even just yet. This is a dicey little bar that's going on right now. If I can ride out this bar, I should be okay. Should be okay to see 68.90 anyway. All right, well, there we go. Rode out the first major swing. If we get a little bit more open profit here, I'll move into something a little bit more aggressive, maybe like the parabolic mode, or perhaps even the bar high low, which is the most aggressive stop strategy that we have. Maybe not at 15 ticks. We'll dial that one back a little bit. Okay, well, not a bad little rally from the buyers, and maybe I will move into parabolic mode now. The parabolic's just going to protect a little bit more open profit. You can see parabolic's not so good when the market moving sideways. You get a lot of back and forth. But the nice thing about the parabolic is that it will protect more open profit. So if the market looks like it's going to reverse, the parabolic stops get in there really quick and save a little bit more open profit for you. All right, well, wasn't a terrible trade. Well, that's a stupid thing to say. It was a good trade. We made money. I was hoping it would swing out a little bit more. I really thought this rally up would get us at least back to 68.90, but it looks like it decided to make a swing a little bit early. And now the market maybe with a little bit more of a bullish flavor. I don't know. Let's take a look here at something like the Eagle, where we get a little bit of a broader view. You can see there was some early resistance here this morning, and then again a little bit higher. That's at that 68.90 zone. Is this a buy channel that's developing, or is it just a great big bear flag? Don't know yet. We would have had comparable signals, of course, here on the other tools. You can see here on the Hawk, we had a first micro-macro cross. Falcon, well, yeah, the Falcon gave us like an early trend change signal. I'm surprised the Falcon filter or trend line bouncing around that much. All right, Raptor traders, you're back into the hard edge. This is where we anticipate the market to give us some sort of reaction. And in the bigger scheme of things, we're getting the kind of testing the top end of the trading range. And this old support down here, which broke, we'll see whether or not it's going to hold the market as support. By the way, here on the Eagle, we are producing now the trend change signal on the Eagle. This wasn't technically close enough to qualify as a hard edge bounce. However, visually, you know, when you're within a couple of ticks of the hard edge, very often I will consider that close enough to count as a hard edge bounce. That would be your number 3 signal. And then, of course, you can always wait for that second push opportunity. All right. And now we're getting a little bit more bullish follow through. So I'm a little bit late getting on board there. Darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it. Just waited a little bit too long there. Scott's asking me what's the secret sauce behind the clouds. Actually, Scott's question is, Eric, what makes up the clouds and the hard edges on the Raptor and the Eagle? Are the clouds volume? Well, yes and no. The clouds, of course, on the Raptor are borrowed from the Eagle. And early on, one of the Raptor owners, Ricardo, said that, hey, you know, I'm getting really good response with 2 clouds, a faster one and a slower one. So we've adopted that suggestion into the clouds. There is a little bit of volume programming in the Raptor clouds, but essentially they're momentum clouds is what they are. They try to pick up market momentum and when the momentum is shifting. So when the clouds get really broad like this, then there's obviously a little bit more momentum than when the clouds are narrow and congested. And this hard edge bounce bugs me because I was just about to reach for my my set prices button to set up the trade. Oh well. Not the first trade I have missed, and certainly not to be the last. And you guys can probably hear a noisy chihuahua barking in the back. Oh, the little darlings. Okay, Scott's asking, what was he seeing in three clouds? The eagle, I get all the different clouds in the raptor. What are they? All right. The raptor clouds, we've got the two clouds, right? We've got the fast cloud, which is this light one, and then we have the slow cloud, which is the darker one. And you can see that, let's see, where the clouds are superimposed. Sometimes the soft edge, this is what we call the soft edge, that leading edge of the cloud. Sometimes the soft edge of the fast cloud is above the soft edge of the slow cloud. Then we have the hard edges. The hard edges tend to be areas of particular price sensitivity. Right? That's why whenever the market encounters the hard edge, we usually expect some sort of reaction. What Ricardo was seeing is that a lot of times the market would, especially when the market was trending, is the market, excuse me for a second. What Ricardo saw was that a lot of times when the market was trending, it wouldn't make it all the way to the hard edge of the big band, the eagle band. That's the slow one. Rather, it would come up a little bit short and make a reaction early. And he started experimenting with the different settings, and we've adopted his settings. And what ends up happening is that you get this kind of scenario, right, where the market comes down, encounters the faster hard edge. I know it didn't hit it exactly, but it was within a tick or two. And then you get this very nice reaction. So if without that faster cloud, if you were only waiting for the market to encounter the bigger cloud, the slower cloud all the time, and that's fine, but you would have a tendency to miss out on some of these signals. Yes, Scott is asking, is the hard edge still momentum? Yes, definitely. Definitely. The hard edge shows you market momentum, and the way these clouds are stacked shows you the bias, the current bias of the market. Overall, I don't pay that much attention to the soft edge, other than how the soft edges are stacked, right? If we have the soft edge above the hard edge, I'm going to be more bullish. If we have the soft edge below the hard edge, I'm going to tend to be more bearish. Now, I've known people to follow the soft edge, and they would measure the soft edge relative to the hard edge, and they would learn to recognize when the market was extremely overbought. Jim was a good one for doing this. He would always measure the soft edge relative to the hard edge, and he knew he liked to trade the mini Dow, but he knew when the soft edge got to be about 40, 50 ticks away from the hard edge, that the market was more inclined to reverse. So if he saw that and he got a number 2 signal to buy, then he would be all over that. All right, so that's another way you can use the soft edge. I know people who follow the soft edge and they see, oh, the soft edge here is higher than the soft edge here, and it kind of looks like we got the head and shoulders, the upside down head and shoulders formation going on. I don't follow that so much, just because it's going to happen in price as well. Although I suppose here it is perhaps a little bit more clear, where you have, this swing low pretty much equal with this swing low, but on the clouds themselves, you can see a real momentum shift, especially since this cloud is now trading above this cloud, right? This soft edge is now trading above that soft edge. So again, showing you a real momentum shift, even though prices themselves may have been a little bit more obscure. But that's about the only way that I would use the soft edge, either just to see when the market is extremely overbought or oversold, or to see when the momentum is truly changing over. In most cases, the soft edge is just relative to the hard edge, so I can see the direction. So in this case, I know I'm going to be more bearish, and then when everything turns over, or when everything's neutral, right? When everything's sideways, I know I'm taking my chances. And then when everything's more stacked this way, well, then I can concentrate on buy signals. In fact, a case could be made that when the band is bullish like this, you could just take your discretionary buy signals as they develop. And providing you run a reasonable stop, the trade should at least find your high probability profit objective, especially on anything that's been preceded by a pullback. But no, that's a good question, Scott. And I forget that, there's new Raptor owners in the room. And please, don't be shy about asking these questions. Even the most basic questions. If you don't understand what the triangles and hash marks and warning dots and arrows are, please ask. Yeah, Phil, kind of looking at it a good way, Phil says the hard edge is a dynamic support and resistance line, or actually that's a question. Is the hard edge a dynamic support and resistance line? In a manner of speaking, I suppose it is, because it does change relative to what's going on with price. You will see the market fudge it, of course. It doesn't always hit it right on the number. But we do know it's going to be an area of price sensitivity. So as the market gets closer to the hard edge, I'm going to tend to be a little bit more bullish. I'm going to be looking for a buy opportunity. One of those trading axioms that you hear about, or actually this one you don't hear very often, but it is true. You will never make money until you learn how to buy and sell on a pullback. The pullback is a scary time to buy, right? We're here, the market's pulling back. In fact, we even produced a sell signal now. And yet, this is the time we need to be looking now for a buying opportunity. So if we do believe this market to be in an uptrend, we're back into the hard edge, and this is where we look for a chance to get long. The directionality or finding where to get into a trade is usually the easy part. I find the more challenging part your stop loss. Because you got to, okay, so there's the buy, and we're just going to do this now. We're just going to buy in, just to illustrate the point. Here we are on a pullback. But now the stop loss, right? The stop loss is the challenging part. All right, well, I'll start with that one, but that's not where I want my stop loss. That's a little bit cozy. Even though technically I suppose you could say it's two swings back. There's swing one, there's swing two. Ideally, this is the best stop down here, but I will make do with this one right here. Okay, we hit the break even trigger, so we'll get the trade up to break even now. David says I didn't get any arrows with these last two signals. I'm assuming you had arrows print on your other signals. Otherwise, you need to go into your indicator window and make sure your arrows are turned on. And I will show you in a moment here, providing I can write out this swing. Okay, so you're going to go to your Raptor, and at the very bottom, your arrow location, just make sure you're not on do not plot. Oh, okay, David says I've gotten previous arrow. The arrow just shows you that the price has engaged the hash mark. That's what the arrow shows you. Not sure why it wouldn't print, because as soon as price trades through the hash mark, you should get that arrow printing. I wouldn't worry about it too much. The other thing you can do is you can go down here and you can reload your Ninja script, but don't do that if you're in a trade, because what it does is it reboots your trade manager, kind of refreshes everything on your chart. So whatever you do, don't do it if you're in a trade. Wait until the trade closes out, then do it. All right, we're making some decent progress on this trade, and we're back at 6,900. And I'm wondering if I should try moving it to parabolic mode now. Protect a little bit more profit. There we go. Okay, and I'll let the parabolics ride this out for the remainder. Oh, I see. Okay, David says I only get arrows when there's a number. That could be part of the new Raptor 2.0 programming. I'm still running the old version of the Raptor. As you can see, I'm not printing any of the signal prompts. So that's entirely possible, David. Something I didn't notice before. Just realize that that's all the arrow signifies, is that the price has engaged the hash mark. And this signal back here, while visually is a number 3 signal, technically the price did not encounter the hard edge. So this is why it's important too that you learn to recognize your signals apart from your signal prompts. The signal prompts are there to assist you, but it's also to your benefit to learn to anticipate the signal. So the market's coming into the hard edge, you should anticipate a number 3 signal. And you can see, okay, it didn't tag the hard edge exactly, but honestly, looking at it, you're one tick away. That's close enough. We have an established trend. We have a bullish band. It's not like the market's all choppy back and forth over here. There's a reasonable expectation that the market's going to try to continue higher from here. And so far, they're doing quite well. Pushing through 6,900. Salish is asking, when will the indicators be updated to Ninja 8? Well, almost everything is updated to Ninja 8 with the exception of the trade manager. And I was talking to the programmer just the other week, and he almost had everything working on Trade Manager on Ninja 8, and then Ninja decided to reprogram something else on Ninja 8 and pretty much undid all the work that he had done. What most people don't realize is that Ninja 8 is not stable yet. It still has bugs. Now, NinjaTrader won't say that to your face, but it is true because we encounter them every day. So the only stable version for Ninja right now is Ninja 7, and that's the only one that Trade Manager works on. So if you want to trade without Trade Manager, that's fine. Then certainly upgrade to Ninja 8. If you want to trade with Trade Manager, then you're going to keep using Ninja 7. At least until Ninja 8 is stable. We're just waiting for them to stop changing the programming. The other reason it's been a hurdle is that unlike moving from Ninja 6.5 to Ninja 7, Ninja 8, they totally rewrote the software from the ground up. Ninja 8 has nothing to do, or sorry, I shouldn't say nothing. Ninja 8 has very, very little to do with Ninja 7. It is a whole new trading platform, and that's made it very difficult for our programmers because they've essentially had to rewrite all the programming from the ground up as well. It's not like they're just performing a few little tweaks here and there to iron out a few wrinkles. No, they Ninja 8 without warning. And sorry if I'm sounding a little bit bitter here, but they should have warned us what they were doing. We have a symbiotic relationship with NinjaTrader. It's to their advantage to keep us happy, and it's to our advantage to keep them happy. But they don't always consider those types of things. All right, looks like I'm going to get tagged out here. Great question here from Salish. Salish asks, will there be a cost to have the indicator on Ninja 8? Adam has promised free upgrades to indicator warehouse owners. However, I will tell you guys right now that if NinjaTrader does this again, like for NinjaTrader 9, if it's a total rewrite of their charting software, there will be a nominal charge to upgrade the software to the new platform. But once Ninja 8 is stable and once our programmers are able to get Trade Manager working on Ninja 8, no, that first upgrade, there will be no cost involved. And I'm not saying this to scare anybody. It's not going to be like thousands of dollars to get the software upgraded. But like I said, if Ninja does do the whole platform rewrite with Ninja 9, which I don't suspect they will, but there may be a nominal charge involved. But right now, no charges. We're just waiting for the platform to become stable enough that we can write our programming to suit it. The DTS system, by the way, the Raptor, the Hawk, the Falcon, the Eagle, all the other indicator warehouse tools have already been rewritten for Ninja 8, but I'm sure you can appreciate the complexity of a piece of software like Trade Manager, that there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of calculations. And like I said, we almost had it nailed, and then they did a whole rewrite of a particular part. Sorry about that, just had a big truck go by. Then they did a total rewrite of part of their trading software, and it essentially put us back to square one. Well, maybe not quite square one, maybe square seven, but still, it's disheartening when you think you've got another 3 or 4 hours of programming to do, and then they change something again without warning, and now you're looking at 40 hours of programming. Yeah. You go, Scott. You go get even for us. Well, like I said, it is a little frustrating, and admittedly, it's their sandbox, right? It's their software; they can do with as they please. But at the same time, it wouldn't hurt them to show us a little consideration and say, "Hey, guys, this is what we have to do. We found this new bug in Ninja 8, and this is what we have to do to fix it." I know Ninja 8 is the download, the premier download when you go to the site, but like I said, it's not without its bugs. While we're on the subject, since the market's kind of in transition here right now, for those of you unfamiliar with the world of software and programming, once upon a time, programmers used to try to find all the bugs in their software before they released it. No, not anymore. They found that too time consuming. So now they put it out and they let you find the bugs and report the bugs to them. So it's a little bit cheesy, I know, but welcome to the wonderful world of software programming. Yeah, like Scott. Yeah, and Scott, I know you're familiar with this kind of stuff. Scott says, so common for software to be close. One thing changes, and that changes a dozen things. And that's exactly what we've been encountering, is that domino effect. The biggest upgrade to Ninja 8 has been they've totally rewritten the graphics interface. So that's been a real hurdle, like I said, for Trade Manager, because there are a lot of moving parts, obviously, with Trade Manager, more so than the Raptor or Falcon or Eagle or Hawk. But at any rate, there's my little gripe of the morning. And it's looking like the market may be trying to do a little bit of a pullback here now, maybe kind of, sort of. If we go back here to the Eagle chart, get the broader view. And Oliver, I will get to your question here in a moment. Okay, so it looks like we've broken above that 68.90 area. And it looks like we're going to come back and test that 68.90 zone back into the hard edge here of the Eagle. So if the buyers are going to try to rally it up, then that's the point that they're going to do it. Yeah, that's right. Scott says, in the meantime, stay calm and make your 3 or 4 points. Oliver is asking, can you go over enabling tick targets? Absolutely, Oliver. Now, unfortunately, you're not going to see it on my laptop. This was one of the reasons we changed, gave the NinjaTrader, the Trade Manager, a facelift, because we had some of these features in here, the buy ask, buy bid, sell ask, sell bid, which honestly nobody ever uses. But what it was doing is it was crowding out the tick targets down here. And like I said, you're not going to see it. But what the tick targets enable does, if you click on that, you'll either get click targets or tick targets. Let me show you click targets first. So if I dial up, I'm going to have 100% of my position all in, all out. Sorry, here we go on click targets. So once I set up my trade, and this isn't a trade, but I'm just going to show you. So I'm going to enter here, going to place my stop loss there, and now I can click my target wherever I want, right? I can set it here, I can set it here, I can set it here. I click it, and that now becomes my trade. However, if I were on tick targets, you see I got target 1, T1, T2, T3. That enables me to preset my targets. Now, I can't do it here from the screen, but obviously you can. So if you go to, say, tick targets T1, and you set it at, say, 10 ticks or 20 ticks, that means when you go to your set prices, it's not going to let me do it. No, it's not going to work. If you enter under T1, say 20, and then you go to set prices and you set your price and your stop loss, your profit target will automatically be set at 20 ticks because that's what you set for target 1. Now you can set as many as 3 targets. So if you wanted to, say, do your targets in thirds, target 1 could be 33%, target 2 could be 33%, and target 3 could be a runner, or you could set it at the other 34%. And then you can set target 1 maybe at 15 ticks, target 2 at 25 ticks, and leave target 3 as 0, which will be a runner, or everything will default into the runner slot. All right, so the tick targets enabled, that just allows you to preset your profit targets. I find it very convenient myself. But again, because of the lack of screen real estate on my laptop, I'm pretty much just going to run out my trades and go with the click target option. And it's looking like we're getting a little bit quiet again. So that may be it for this morning. We'll hang out for a couple more minutes in case anyone has any more questions. Otherwise, we're going to wrap up shop here. And we'll look to do it all again tomorrow. I am so looking forward to sleeping in my own bed. I am so looking forward not having to take care of a pair of chihuahuas. Don't get me wrong, we love dogs. We've had lots of dogs. So don't send me any hate letters from you chihuahua lovers. They're nicer when you don't have to cater to them all the time. David's asking, at the end of the session, the screen comes up asking for evaluation. Do I have to do this every time? No, you most certainly do not. I wasn't even aware that there was a screen coming up. I suppose it records that feedback somewhere. If you guys have points to make, especially if there's something that we're doing or not doing that you wish we were doing, or doing that you wish we weren't doing, please take a minute and email me directly, because that I will actually get. I will actually get your email. I don't normally see or take the time to review those types of evaluations. Yeah, Dan's saying we got a hard edge bounce. Now, the hard edge bounce signal, we have to remember, is a continuation signal, right? So first you have to make sure you have a trend to continue. So there's been a little bit of a bias here for sure, a little bit of a move to the short side. I'm not sure I would classify it in the same type of situation as, say, this one here, where there's been more of an established trend. This may turn out to be more of a number one signal where the clouds are now coming into sync. You probably printed a number one here, but again, you got to take the context into account, right? You got to look at the whole picture and say, what's going on here? Do I have a trend? Does it look like the old trend is ending and a new trend is beginning? Or does it look like maybe the market's just going sideways? And then the big question is always, do I think this is one of my best trading opportunities today? If you think it is, then by all means, go for it. If you think, maybe I've seen something better, maybe I'll hold out for something better, then it may be a trade you want to pass on. Remember, you don't have to trade often to make money trading. But when you do trade, you want to be reasonably sure that you're going to be right. At least right enough to get to your high probability profit target. So, great observation there, Dan. Yeah, John says, I've got 2 chihuahuas, a wife and 2 daughters, and I'm the only guy in the house. I feel your pain and then some. Yes, there's been a little bit of a testosterone imbalance in our house as well. David says, on my chart, the hard edge lines are much further away than yours. Okay, well, let's take a look here. So my one cloud is at 8 ticks, and oh, that's probably why. My other cloud is at 10. Yours is probably at 12. Honestly, 2 ticks isn't going to make that much of a difference. So, but again, that's going back to the fact that I haven't used this computer for trading in over a year. There you go. That should look more like yours now. Remember, folks, these are tools, right? Let's not treat this as gospel. We need to use them to interpret what's going on the chart. All right, gang, we're going to close up shop then. Thank you very much for your attendance here this morning. I hope to see you again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you then. Bye for now.